Well, invisible labor, it's not invisible per se, but it's often labeled invisible because it's unpaid for. It's almost like it's unrecognized, and yet it's labor. You know, in society, we normally have productive and reproductive roles, and also community roles. So you find reproductive roles are clearer, where a woman normally is childbearing, they do the breastfeeding, and those initial roles that go with childbearing, while the males really play the role of fathering the child, and they're expected to provide for the expecting mother, the new mother and baby, and whatever else comes along. Now, we begin to see this invisible labor, for instance, when a child is born. I think now, beyond giving birth and breastfeeding, you begin to see things that either man or woman can do. For instance, changing the baby's diapers, washing the baby. Those things that a new child requires really does not require if you're male or female. You can still support. But many times it's looked at as work for either the mother or any other females in the household. A good example is that many times when people have new babies in the house, when a child cries, despite the mother staying up the whole night, the father will just tap the woman, yeah, and say the baby's crying. But can't he get up and attend to the crying baby? When the child needs to change diapers, when a baby pukes, so does number two, it's not always a pleasant sight, but it goes with supporting this child that can't support themselves at the moment. But many times when like, yeah, even the mother feels ill, but it's your baby. You also, you the man, it's your baby. Why can't you change the diaper? And things have been made easier. I remember growing up, there was the whole issue of the nappy, reusable nappy. So those things of cleaning up, washing, there should be a balance. So those kind of work. Another sort of invisible labor, what would label that is things to do with feeding the family. Many times we see that men provide the food. Not all men, but a good number, or it's expected that men provide food. But how that raw food turns to consumable food is a responsibility left to women, and it's not necessarily easy. Or some people will give you 20,000 in this economy. What can 20,000 do really? But for the whole week or even 2 weeks, the man will say, today I want to eat chicken, today I want to eat beef. How you make it work is your personal problem. But for him, that's what he wants to have for lunch or for dinner based on the resources he's given you. Also, there's the issue of looking for fuel, energy for cooking. Many times, nobody worries about how you cook the food. I have bought the food, but you need firewood or charcoal or electricity or gas, whatever you need to cook this food. So, sometimes women move miles looking for firewood and things like that, or fetching water. People don't appreciate these kinds of things, but you're still expected to attend to many other things in addition to that. Imagine after walking miles looking for firewood, you come back and someone's like, hey, lunch in this home today has delayed. But with deforestation, for instance, I just can no longer just move maybe 500 meters and find some shrubs and twigs that I can use for cooking. Sometimes the kilometers keep increasing. Nobody worries about that. Nobody finances that. Nobody appreciates that. So washing clothes, basically taking care of people in the home. And you find that increasingly women have gone into formal employment, so they get domestic workers. And many people, for instance, in Uganda, the pay for domestic workers is so low. Some people, the money they give their domestic workers, they spend it in less than 30 minutes. Like the bars they go to, the cost of beer, and the barbecue beef that goes along with that, and housing their friends. But they're not ashamed to pay the workers 20,000, 50,000. Many times people source for these maids from up country, normally the homes they come from. So these are possibly relatives who don't have formal employment, they don't have formal education. They're desperate to just leave home and go elsewhere because even food, maybe the next meal, is not assured. So sometimes you find people literally giving away their children. A 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, there you go with this one, they help you. You go with this one, maybe you'll take them at school. So you find that such children are exploited and sometimes they grow in that environment. So they're poorly paid, or sometimes parents make contracts with the people going away with their children, where whatever little money you should have paid their children goes directly to them. So this kid works day and night. Maybe you have 3, 5 children they have to take care of, prepare them for school, cook for them, wash the clothes, clean the house. You never rest. Yes? But you're expected to do all this and you actually get nothing. You need new clothes and what. And of course, as women, especially growing, a young woman, she reach a point she needs sanitary, but we'll tell you we pay you already. You know, things like that. So it almost looks like invisible work. But also related to those domestic work is community work. Now, community work can best be understood among communal activities like maybe marriages, ceremonies around birth, death, marriage. So you'll find that maybe there is, let's look at a modern wedding today now. Maybe there's the introduction, the wedding. There's all this work that people bring in, arranging, organizing, decorating. If you see how much a service provider charges to decorate, to cook for you, that should be the value of work. But this invisible work, you'll find that maybe I have a traditional ceremony. They'll collect all the female relatives. Maybe it's a death. So automatically all the girls, you fetch firewood, fetch water, and cook for the guests. Then the males, maybe you go slaughter the animal and chill. So yes, even males have a role to play. They also contribute to invisible work, but many times they have just this one activity attached to them, like slaughtering the animal, and then they rest. While women, the whole day they are working, you have to ensure there's tea round the clock, porridge round the clock. Then you must provide lunch, you must provide dinner. And you know, in Uganda, most cultures have such elaborate burial ceremonies, you know. Where I come from in Tororo, you find that a male is buried after 3 days, on the 3rd day. Unless you got a severe accident and your body is smelling, then they will put culture aside. A female is buried on the 4th day. Even when we are born, a boy child is brought out of the house on the 4th day, rather on the 3rd day, while a female child is on the 4th day. So where I come from, the male's number, lucky number, what number, ritual number, whatever you have to do if you're male must be 3 times. Whatever you must do if you're female must be 4 times. So you find that there are all those things that go with that women have to do at no cost, or maids have to do at no cost. And that is why you find that sometimes when we go to other cultures, we get into trouble. The way labor is viewed, the way labor is valued. For instance, the issue we are having now with one of our judges who's been basically tried and found guilty of modern day slavery. This is a maid, they say, had worked with her for so many years, over 10 years in her home, and was considered good and things like that. And so you relocate abroad and relocate a maid under the same terms and conditions. But of course, when people get more awareness as information, you know, they'll exploit the policies in that country. And so in Uganda, everyone is wondering, but what has she done? Yes, and out there they're saying it's modern day slavery. And actually for us Ugandans, we are saying the maid is ungrateful. Who wouldn't want a flight to the UK? She's gotten herself gotten to the UK, and now the person who took her is going to jail, you know, and things like that. So those kind of things is what we consider invisible labor, because it can be valued financially, but people take it for granted that you're going to do this. So it is an expectation, and if you don't do it, then there's some character assassination. But also to know that people know this invisible work equates money. Sometimes when men have to do that work, they're paid for it. We know a lot of men who are chefs, but most women, when there are functions at home or on a daily, they cook for free. It is a requirement, it's an expectation. When there is a death in the family, all the cooking and cleaning up, and it's automatically a woman's work. So it seems invisible. It's not invisible per se, but it seems invisible because it's never valued in monetary terms.